I'm so out of practice. Hello, I'm back and I'm in Portugal. There's a lot of echo here because the room is completely empty because I've just moved back to Portugal. It's the beginning of March and for the last 2 months I moved countries and houses. I've traveled to Thailand and Cambodia. I came back and I'm now watching some classes at my old high school again, and I'm taking my driver's license, which in Portugal you can only do when you are 18, but I was living in Brazil when I turned 18. There is no tripod, you're standing into cans of paint because we've been painting the house, and it's been kind of crazy. Everything is a mess. There is no books, there is no bookshelf yet, but there is. Oh, and yeah, I've cut my hair, so everything is different. Aside from that, I've been reading a lot. For the first time in forever, I'm actually ahead of my Goodreads reading challenge. I've read 5 books in the last 2 months, especially during my Thailand and Cambodia trip. And I've bought some books because I finally have a Kindle account and I went slightly crazy. I want to do the book haul first because some of them I've already read, and then I will do my wrap up. So let's start. Let's start with my book haul. Let's start with the physical copies. I've bought 4 books, and that's only since I came back from my trips. In the Schiphol airport in Amsterdam, I stayed there for 7 hours waiting for my flight back to Lisbon. So yeah, I had some free time. So I went and bought 2 books. I bought The Rosie Project and The Rosie Effect by Graham Simpson. I have no idea how to pronounce this name. I thought I've heard amazing things about The Rosie Project, and this is the sequel to it. I'm really into chick lit and contemporary funny books, and this sounded really cool. I compared the prices and everything to see if it was worth it to buy on Kindle, and it wasn't. So I just bought these 2 beautiful physical copies. I'm really looking forward to reading this. Afterwards, here in Portugal, I went to my favorite bookstore, which is Fnac. Every single shopping center has a Fnac store, and I love them. They have books, CDs, DVDs, it's heaven. So yeah, I found this book there, hit these covers, and how could I not buy it? Am I right? Problem is, I haven't read A Legend yet, so I cannot start reading this, because I know this is a compilation of short stories, about 4, throughout the 3 novels. So yeah, I cannot read this before reading the Allegiance. So I'm waiting for my things to arrive. The next physical book I bought was Mensagem by Fernando Pessoa. It's an epic poetic tale. It's a Portuguese classic. It's studied in school in the last year of high school, so I needed it. And I've never read a lot of Fernando Pessoa because I'm not a big fan of 20th century writers or poets. I know I'm weird, but yeah, I cannot escape this. So if you like Fernando Pessoa, Brazil loves Fernando Pessoa, tell me in the comments. And if you've read something by him, it probably was the Book of Disquietment. If you did, tell me what you think in the comments, because I've heard crazy things about it. Okay, so next we're going to the ebooks. So I have 3 accounts. I have the Kobo account, which I no longer use. I'm just reading the books that are there, but I can no longer buy in Kobo. So I went on Google Play, has a very good selection of Portuguese classics, which you cannot find on Kindle. Mensagem by Fernando Pessoa as well, because I thought my trip to Thailand and Cambodia would last longer, and it actually did. So I bought all of the books that were required reading for the Portuguese exam on my tablet, but I didn't actually need it. But it's good to have it because, I don't know, it was so cheap and it's a classic, so it's not a problem. I also bought the Metamorphoses by Kafka in Portuguese translation because my Portuguese teacher in Brazil was always saying that I should read this. So here it is, and I will read it. Also very, very cheap. Next I bought, but I already own the physical copy of this, Os Maias by S. de Queiroz. Os Maias, it's a story about a family, about a man called Carlos de Maia and a woman called Maria Eduarda. And I really love this author, but this is a true Portuguese classic, which you probably haven't heard about. But yeah, I finished reading this during my trip to Thailand and Cambodia, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I also bought Mural Convento by José Saramago, or as you call it in English, what are you doing? Or as you call it in English, Baltasar and Blimunda by José Saramago. Saramago was the only Portuguese author awarded with the Nobel Prize for Literature, so you might want to check him out. He also wrote Blindness, which was adapted to a movie. So those are all the books I bought on Google Play. Now over to Kindle. I finally started my account and I slightly went crazy and bought a lot of books. So first I bought Highland the Ever After by Stephanie Perkins, the third in the Another French Kiss trilogy companion novel series. I don't know. I will talk about it later because I've already finished reading it. I bought and read in a day Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me by Mindy Kaling. I love the Mindy Project, and Mindy Kaling is just an extraordinary person, and I really enjoyed reading this book. And I bought To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Everyone is talking about this in the BookTube community and Bookstagram community, and it was really cheap, so I just bought it because I really like contemporary young adult. So here it is. So now we're going to my wrap up. So during the months of January and February, I read 5 books. I finally finished Mr. Penumbra's 24 Hours Bookstore by Robin Sloan. I enjoyed it. It was a fun read, but it took me quite a while because I'm not the best reader on an e-reader. Yeah, it took me quite a while, but I finally finished it during January, yeah. Then I read in a day Trouble by Non Pratt. Trouble is about a teenage girl who gets pregnant and a teenage boy who decides to be the parent of the child. He offers himself to pretend he's the father of the child to everyone, so no one knows about this agreement except them. But the reason why he offered himself to do this, it's a mystery. No one really knows until the very end. It's a beautiful story, I think, about friendship. I don't particularly like the slight open ending they have, and I'm still not quite convinced about some aspects of it, but I really like how they dealt with a teenage pregnancy, family support, and the fact that she had a group of friends who helped her out. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars, I believe, and also gave that to Mr. Penumbra's 24 Hours Bookstore. Then I finished my Os Maias by Queiroz. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. Really sharp and witty, and just a classical, fantastic read for the time period. Queiroz is a brilliant end of the 19th, beginning of the 20th century. Actually, just the end of the 19th century. And is really witty, and it treats all things with sarcasm and irony, and it's wonderful. So if you're Portuguese or Brazilian, please go read Queiroz. Thank you. Then I finished in a day as well Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me by Mindy Kaling. I loved it. It was so funny, it was so witty, but also we had such a great message, which is the fact that she's such a normal girl, sometimes overlooked while she was in school and everything. And she made it. She has her own show now, and she doesn't even talk about the MIDI project here. So I believe this was written before starting the MIDI project, because she doesn't mention it, but she mentions obviously her participation in The Office US edition, and it's incredibly written. It's so funny. Emma died. But yeah, so I gave MIDI Kaling's book 4 out of 5. I mean, it's not genius enough to be a 5-star book. It's too short maybe, but it's definitely a 4, a strong 4.5 stars. After that, I read Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. The story is about Isla, who is a bookish, pretty, petite girl who has a very big crush on the artistic Josh. It's Josh, right? As you probably already know, this is the 3rd book after Anne and the French Kiss and Lol and the Boy Next Door. Isla is younger than those two. She's younger than Josh, and she's insecure about it, just like I would be. And I related to Isla so much. I do not, however, relate to Josh. I did sympathize with him though. Which is, I guess, the point. You do not need to understand every character, but you need to sympathize with them, or at least understand the way they're thinking, so that you can understand what they're doing. So that being said, I understand what they were doing. It doesn't mean I didn't get the feeling. It was like Anna and Lola and Isla are 3 very romantic stories about quirky girls. Are very different from each other, but they are not what you called like the regular popular high school girl. Though Isla thinks Anna is like a very popular girl, which is, I think, a very good perspective, because I remember when I read Anna, I thought she felt out of place. But then I read Isla, and she thought of Anna as someone very popular, very outgoing, very friendly and outspoken, and has herself as someone who was really weird for some people and that wasn't understood, and that she didn't even understood herself properly. Like, she doesn't know what to do with her life, she doesn't know what to study in university, which I can relate so much. So I understood Isla, and I really like that aspect. I think there's a lot of quirky girls in books who has everything figured out, and things are not like that, especially academically. There's so many people that don't know what they want to study, and I really like to see that aspect. I really liked Isla. I loved the Barcelona bit. I love seeing Anna and Lola coming back in the end. I overall liked the book. Like, I finished the book with a smile on my face, and I felt sad for them, and I understood what they were going through during the angsty bit. However, it is over dramatized. They do use a character which could be much more used, and it's a little bit forgotten. So I didn't know what points to give it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because I think that's what it deserved. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it. I do understand where people see problems. I just heard a lot about not understanding Isla, or thinking she's slightly like a stalker. And the thing is, when you have a big crush on someone, you are very attentive to details, you kind of notice things much more. It's not like you're searching for them, not like you're going after that. You do notice a lot more. You notice stuff a lot more, and you remember that information much clearer and much more frequently because you have that very big crush. So it's not that she's a stalker, she just has a big crush, and that's part of it, you know, acquiring a lot of information, because it makes you somehow feel like you know the person better. So I mean, I empathize with Isla, and because of that I give it 4 out of 5 stars. Now to what I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading Real Convent, which I've already shown you that I bought on my Google Play. I'm also reading Staying at Places with H. I started reading this on the 31st of December of 2014, and I'm still reading it because I couldn't take it with me to Thailand because it's a physical book and it would weigh too much. So it stayed here and now I'm finishing it, but I'm already halfway through. So yeah, and that's it for today, guys, and I will see you soon with another video, I hope. Bye!